Okay, so we're going to move on. Like I was saying, it's like when you were driving. When you were driving, you learned about it, you did all that. But when you got behind the wheel, you were like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. And even then, even all the stuff that you learned, the stuff on your tests, all the stuff that you had been figuring out, it still wasn't like second nature, right? You were like, what, rear view mirror, emergency signals, God forbid you were even trying to learn like driving a stick. Oh, right. Like, there was so much. Now, like scarily enough, you don't even give it a second thought, right? You probably don't think much about it. So, okay, good. We still got that far. Steven's chatting with you over there, Kim, as well, if you have any questions. So now you do it without any thinking. And that's the difference here. That there are so many places out there that are offering skills and teaching and teaching and teaching, but nobody is holding you accountable to get behind the wheel and actually try it out. And that is where things are going to get committed to memory. That is where it becomes a skill. Information is not the skill. Learning to actually do it, that's the skill, right? And that is the difference that we are bringing into Project Shop. And that's why you'll have a project. All right. So, that is what we're doing. Now, each month, we obviously have a different topic. So this month is copywriting, right? Who is excited about copywriting? Is anyone excited? Type in the chat, copywriting is happiness. If that is, because it is. Copywriting is such a powerful thing. Each week, so just the way Project Shop is going to work is each week I'm going to show up live for 30 minutes to an hour, and we will learn a different element. And we will have copywriting, and we will have a simple task that for you to finish each week. If you can't make it, it's totally fine because we'll have a replay and that'll be sent out the same day. And your assignment sheet will always be the same link. So any of the information that you need, the access you need to your worksheets will all be in the same place. You will be held accountable to complete your task and required to turn it in by midnight, Sunday night each week. So complete each task each week, and by the end of the month, you will have completed a project. So for now, I will be available by email for quick questions. So take advantage of that now, because as the group grows, we won't be able to keep that up. So I will also be hosting bi-weekly Q&A, so you can jump in and have a chat with me and get your questions answered. So does that sound good to everyone? Are you ready to dive in? If you type in the chat, I'm ready if you're ready. All right. Yay, copywriting is happiness. Okay, so let's move on. Looking just how the next couple weeks are going to go in terms of copywriting. We are just going to go. So we're just going to kind of go over this real quick. So copywriting, if I haven't said already, guys, is essential to your business. Like it or not, you are copywriting all the time. Your posts, your emails, announcements, sales pages, it's all copywriting. And if you're not doing it right, you're leaving money on the table. So with a few basics and tips and rules and formulas, we're going to be able to tweak what you're already writing so you can feel more confident and comfortable, and best of all, make more sales. All right. So this month, we will create a proper sales email. Now, this is something that, if you're a person-to-person sales, then this is something you would just shoot off, to your prospects. If you are running, you have a list that you've built, which hopefully you have. This is something that you will use this, whether you're introducing a product or a new sale or something like that. This is what you're going to create. You're going to create a sales email. And this formula is something that you should be able to use over and over. So today, we're going to focus on the basics and getting some of our email goals sorted. Next week, we will look at the formulas and the body of our copy, right? That's like the meat of what you're writing. And then after that, we will learn how to do super awesome subject lines and headlines. And then the last week, we're going to add our calls to action and then turn in that final sales email. All right. So does anyone have any questions? If you got a question, throw it in there now. Anyone got a question? Looks like we're good. That's getting sorted for hearing things. All right. We're good. We're good. Let's do this then. Let's move forward. What is copywriting? Copywriting is not to be confused with being a writer. So I know a lot of you could hear that and you're like, oh, writing, like when you're a writer, you can write for any reason. And there are tons of things to learn and know and understand of, depending on what you're writing. If it's suspense or mystery, you're writing for your own delight. You're writing for the sense of information, poetry, musings, so many different reasons you can write, right? Right? But the difference is copywriting is selling with words. Copywriting is selling with words. Copywriting is writing that will result in the reader taking some form of action. It is salesmanship in print. It's marketing. It's brand awareness. It's persuasion. All right? And the thing is, copywriting, this is a full, serious profession making big money. Like, this is not some and this thing, a lot of us take it very, a lot of entrepreneurs take it very for granted. Like, oh, they'll spend all their time and effort making the big website and flashy this and getting all this stuff ready and their product all fancy, and then slap together some sales page because they think, oh, my product's so amazing. Everyone's just going to totally get it. And like, they're just going to show up and buy it. Just going to be like, hey, shut up and take my money. Not what happens. Not what happens at all, right? This is so important. And so good copywriters are expensive because their words sell. They make you money with their words. And because of that, they know their words are valuable. Great copywriters, you check the slide here, great copywriters command a minimum 10 grand per project, right? That's like a really good copywriter, right? Like, and that's just like the easy stuff. It goes way up from there. I've heard 100K. As a matter of fact, I just spoke with a client the other day who was talking with a copywriter for their launch and their sales page, and they said it was going to be, oh gosh, I want to say it was like $225,000 plus the percentage of the revenue that they'll make, right? Like, what? Like, this is such a big deal. And this, because they know, and then they really know what they can sell. They can even go so far to say, I easily know that my words can sell you at least this much of your product, right? That is what they're worth. That is what those words are worth and capable of. Okay, it's like crazy stuff. So if you didn't know that, like, hello, copywriters, you guys are freaking amazing. So, a lot of you probably don't have 10,000 or more to pay every time you want to make a sales page or an email or something like that. To do email campaigns, that's a whole other profession. So, what you don't have in money, you're going to have to invest in time, right? Like that is what we do. That's the payoff, one way or the other. So let's start moving on to the basic elements of copywriting. Like that's today, I want you to just understand the quick pieces that make up copywriting. And then we're going to move into what our task is, all right? So the elements of copywriting. First, we have our subject lines, right? These are for emails. We're all familiar. You've all gotten emails from me. You know that subject line. This is the first impression. This is what gets attention. This is what entices, sparks curiosity, and ultimately it's what gets them to open the email, right? And then we have our headlines. They are not the same thing, right? Subject line gets them to open it. Headline is when we go and like confirm or deny, right? Like that subject line, we click and we're like, that sounds interesting. And then we look for the headline as a clue, like, is it worth continuing on? Like, am I still intrigued? Or you see that headline, you're like, boring. Or, sometimes that's sleazy where they just trick you into something. You're like, oh, give me a break, right? So that headline is like a transitional period right there. And David Ogilvy, if you may or may not have heard of him, he's huge, like the guru of advertising, right? He said, unless your headline sells your product, you've wasted 90% of your money. You should spend as much time on your headline as your copy. So your copy, that's like the meat of it. So you might be going like, oh my gosh, I spent like an hour and a half, 3 hours, 4 hours. Are you telling me that little headline like should take me 3 or 4 hours? Yeah, that is exactly what he's saying. It's that important. It is that step that gets them to keep going. We think and assume they're just going to read all of it, and we like slap something together, or we go just like, oh, that sounds neat or catchy. That is not what it's about, right? That is not what does it. So it is so important that you spend as much time on headlines or copy. This is what stops the reader. It's what intrigues the reader. It makes them want to know more, and it clicks them, right? So it's just enough. It doesn't give them the whole story yet, but it sets the stage for the rest of what you will say. So then the next part is the copy in the body. This is what you're writing, and it needs to speak to them. It should not be boring. Boop, 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 boop. Wake up, everyone, right? Don't be boring. Like for some reason, we get into writing and all of this conversation that we have with our friends or with this, or like, oh, Tanya, you're so witty. I'm like, I know, right? We get in front of the computer and we're like, hello, sirs and madams. I would like to present to you today this opportunity to purchase my product. Like, what? How did we get here? Stop it. Stop being boring. Okay. This is not about what you learned in English class. Okay. I'm not going to dive. We're going to go into all of this later on in the month. I don't want to go too crazy on this. So this is what it is. Don't be boring. It should answer questions. It should solve a problem that they have. It should lead them to take action. Great copy explains benefits more than features, right? What's the difference? Features are factual statements about your product or service. Benefits are what's in it for me. Quick example, let's say Greek yogurt, right? Features, Greek yogurt. It's made of milk, probiotics, thicker than regular yogurt, perhaps better taste, right? Those are factual statements. Features, factual. What are the benefits? Well, it can improve digestion, like digestive health. Ooh, it can give you energy because it has B12. It can help you recover after a workout because the amino acids and proteins. Oh, all of a sudden you're telling me what's in it for me. Because like thicker than regular yogurt, like what's in it for me? Like how does this connect? All right. When you're in this and you're writing the body, another great method, and we'll mention this later as we go into this task in the next over a couple weeks, is the so what method. So if we look at this Greek yogurt example, we can say, well, it has probiotics. So what? Well, they're good for your belly. So what? They've been shown to improve digestive health. Ah, now we have a benefit, right? That's a difference. So again, don't worry about like committing a list to memory. We are going to dive into this more. The next element here in our little line, as you see, is the call to action. This is so overlooked so many times. I see it over and over and over again in so many of your guys' posts and things. Is telling them what to do. We assume that someone's going to jump into action because we've presented them with something. You need to tell them what to do. Do you want them to email you, DM you, comment below, call you, text you, click the button? Tell them, what do you want them to do? What is the win? What makes it go, yeah, they did what I wanted them. That was what I expected. What are you asking them to do that's going to move them to the next stage of your funnel? All right. So those are the main elements, really. Subject lines, headlines, body, call to action, conversion. Conversion. Okay, I forgot that. Conversion. That's when they've done the thing, right? That's the result that we want. What action we want to take, right? Woo, that's the thing. Okay, so there's the conversion. Is everyone still with me? That's probably the most biggest chunk we're gonna have today. So type a woohoo in the chat if you're still with me. And if anyone has questions, jump on them now. If not, we're going to go ahead and move on. We just have 2 more things to go over, and then we're going to jump into our tasks. All right. So moving on. Everyone good? Do I got a woohoo in the chat? Where's my woohoo? Woohoo. I'm going to chat a woohoo because that's fun. Woohoo. How do you spell woohoo? Yeah. Woohoo. I see some woohoos. Yeah. Woohoo. All right. So that's the whole not be boring, right? Copywriting is so amazing. It is. I know it sounds so weird, but it is. So I'm going to go over Gail Goodman's 10 copywriting commandments. All right. So we are only going to go through 1 through 4 because they're the only parts that are applicable to what we're talking about today. We will go through the rest in our other lessons. Okay. So number 1 commandment, know your audience. I know, because I know my audience that you guys are like, oh my God, here she goes again. This is all she ever talks about. This is overlooked so freaking much. And honestly, it's half-assed so often. So often it's well, they're women. They're humans. They're not dogs. Okay, good start. we need to know more, all right? Like, we need to know, who is this email going to? What is their buyer persona, right? What is their day like? Like, what is a typical day of this person like? What do they go through? Are they going to work? Are they going to school? Are they walking to the park? Are they walking in the city? Are they sitting in traffic? Are they in the subway? And what's important to them? How old are they, right? Some demographics like that. How old are they? What have they purchased in the past, either from you or from from competitors or something like that? Like, we need to really know them. Knowing like they're female or they're male is not enough. That is not enough if you want to be effective with your words. If you have the budget of Coca-Cola to just put out like billboards across the world and be like, I exist, by all means, half-ass this part. But I'm going to tell you, even they know and have a whole segment of knowing who their audience is and different parts of their audience. All right. Commandment number 2, determine your value, right? This is the value proposition. Again, you're like, it's like everything she talks about. That's because it's so important. This is how important it is. Okay. Why should the customer buy your product or service? Why? Give me a good reason. What's in it for them? What's in it for them? Not, oh, it has this, it has that. What's in it for them? And why is your product or service better than the one down the street? What are the key differences? What are the key things when you can say, well, it's because I'm better? Like, that's not enough. What are the specific differences? All right. So number 3, what is your unique selling proposition or position, right? You're like, well, value, but it's not the same thing. No, the difference here is we talked about how special your product or service is. Now what we want to talk about is, how does your offer stand out from the competition? So you may have said, okay, we're different this way, we're different that way. All right, great. So what's the point? What do you want me to get here? What are you selling me? And what makes what you're selling so special? Is it, uniqueness? Is it a limited edition? Is it a percentage off? What is it that makes your offer stand out from the competition? So you need to know this, okay? If you want, remember, the whole point of this, if you want to be able to do effective copywriting, which is selling with your words, then these are the things that you need to know. These are the commandments of this copywriting. And number 4, what's your point? What is the purpose of this email that you're going to be sending? What action do you want them to take? This is the stuff that we need to be really clear on before we write anything if you want to be effective, period, right? What do we want them to do? So these are the 4 things. Like that's it, okay? We need to know our audience, know the value of our product or service, what's special about our offer, and what's our damn point? What do we want them to do? Does that make sense? Anyone having anything? Any questions at this point? Disagree or like screw the commandments? Like anyone is like going rogue on me? Are we good? We're good here. Just soaking it in. All right. Okay. I'm getting some tea here because this is how I stay warm in this freezing country. All right. So the one last thing I want to go in is Joanna Wiebe's rule of 1. If you don't know who Joanna Wiebe is, she is of Copy Hackers. If you're going to go out there and find some free copywriting information, she is a vault of it, just constantly giving away value. Absolutely amazing. Just tons of information that you can get from her. I highly suggest, check, get on her list, whatever you need to do. All right. But her rule of 1 is 1 reader. Right? 1 specific person. I don't care how many people are on your list. I don't care how many different types of people. Now, if you've been following me for some time, you know I'm a big proponent of segmenting your list, right? Because this message is so important. As you've just heard, all of these words, all of these things are so important. Even if you haven't, that's okay. Even if you're going to email several different types of people who are on your big list, when you write, you need to choose 1 of those people. 1 of these, it can be an actual person in your mind, like you don't only email that person because that would be weird. Your sales might not be very good, but that 1 person, go, this is the person I'm emailing to. I am emailing the Stevens of my list, right? And I'm going to speak just to them, to him. and that's how I'm going to write, and that's how I'm going to do it. And I know what Stephen goes through, and I know what his commute is like, and I know what his day-to-day life is like. And so I'm going to write in that manner. Here's the thing. It is okay. Ideally, yes, should it be segmented so the list only goes to the email only goes to the Stevens on the list? Yes. But even if you have your big group and you're like, I haven't segmented today, I don't know what to do, you're going to send that, and all the Stevens on the list are going to be like, oh yeah, oh my God, that's me. That's totally me. And they're going to listen, and they're going to like see that and go, okay. So they're going to know that that is them. And the rest of the people who are like, oh, that's not really me, they're going to be fine with that. And then you're going to move on next time, and you're going to give something super specific to them, like to that person. But if you try to do like one message to everyone, you're not going to reach anyone. And I'm telling you, that's rule over and over and over. That's my commandment. That's everyone's commandment in this industry. We know that that doesn't work. So one reader, all right? One reader, one offer. So we can't offer like 10 different things. As a matter of fact, you have, I read this thing, and it was where this is a real study. Some huge company, really huge company out there, I don't remember who, I'm really bad with names. They were offering one of those like, retirement matching things, whatever, investment 401k, something, right? And so they were giving their people all of these like, they had like 5 options, and they were matching like a ton of money, like, I don't even know, ton of money. And they were like, oh, this is going really well. Everyone seems to really like it. So then they started offering more options. And they were like, you can invest in these 5 companies, but then it went to, you can invest in like 10 companies, then it went to like 30 companies, something like that. And every time they added more options, the people who took advantage of this retirement fund with their employer matching the amount of money went down. Like, people just literally were like, I don't want money. Like, I don't want to invest. I'm not going to try. And the reason was they were overwhelmed with the options. It was too many options. Then it became the fear of choosing the wrong one. I should research it before I make a decision, because now there's like 50 things. That becomes like a whole project, and then it keeps putting off till not doing it was easier than doing it. So one offer, guys, one offer, not 45 offers, not 25 options. Don't offer in your email to opt into your list, follow you on Instagram, give you a phone call, like one thing. That's it. One offer. Okay. One big idea. This is like the concept that makes the reader want to know more. Like, what is the thing that you are explaining to them, teaching them, educating them? What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Right. And then one big promise, right? That's the benefit. Like, this is the one thing that you're like, this is going to change everything. This is going to totally make this like socks, right? You're going to have the warmest feet ever. Like, let's not talk about like warm feet and then like stylish feet and then like slender feet. I don't know if that's the thing. Okay. Like, just pick one of those things and be like, you're going to have the warmest freaking feet ever, right? That is the big promise. So one reader, one offer, one big idea, one big promise. Does that make sense? Type in the chat if that makes sense. Be like, got it. Or be like, or you can type like, why? I don't get it. It's like my son right now, he's going through the Wi-Fi, so it's always like, why? Or in Czech, he says, proč? Like, why is it one reader? So if anyone's stuck in any of this part, this is making sense, rule of one, we're good. Because then we're going to move on to this week's task. Good? Good, good. Keeping my energy up, staying warm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Makes sense. Got it. Got it. We got it. We got it. Okay. Moving on to this week's task. Dun, dun, dun. I had a big cup of coffee before we got started. Like, I'm drinking tea now. A lot of coffee. I can't lie. All right. So, moving on here. Your task. Week 1, due Sunday night. All you need to do is gather all the details by answering the questions on your worksheet. Now, those of you who are in members, you have your link to your worksheet already set, okay? And so you are going to be answering the following question. I'm going to run through them real quick, but you have them on your list, so don't like, you have to like, oh my God, like scribble it down. The reader. Who is the one reader? And you're going to answer, are they male or female? What is their age? What is their life like? What problems are they facing? What is important to them? What have they purchased in the past? And what is their awareness stage? And we've talked about awareness stages before. Are they just becoming familiar? Like, oh, I don't know what the solution is. I just know I'm frustrated with this. Are they aware of already several solutions and you're trying to convince them yours is the best? We're not going to go into that fully here. You can always look up a buyer journey and awareness stages if this is a new concept to you. So there's plenty of free information we discussed out there to understand that. So this is what you're going to say about the reader. And then the objective. What is the purpose of this email that you're going to write? What is the point? What is the thing that you're trying to sell? So you have to make that decision. And again, selling does not always have to mean that it's an actual like product at this point, like an actual monetary sale. You might be trying to sell them on following you on Instagram, or selling them on opting in into something, or selling them on doing a free like call with you or something. Okay. And that's fine. Just be very clear. What is the purpose of my email? What action do I want them to take? Now, like, be again specific. I want to sell this doesn't necessarily mean I want them to buy this as the same action. I want them to click the button and sign up. I want them to respond to this email. What is the specific action you want them to take? What is the big idea that you want them to understand? Right? Sometimes there's like something they need to get or need to make sense to them before they can go, oh yeah, like this is important. Right? Like, we took a big risk by doing copywriting because that's not something that entrepreneurs automatically see as beneficial to them. They want to learn about social media, but the copywriting is going to help their social media. They want to learn how to get their emails done and their email automations and nurture sequences. Copywriting is going to help them. Right? There's so many things. So we really took a risk by saying, we were going to do copywriting first. Like, and half of them don't even know what the hell that means. So we spent a very long time in our email sequences saying, hey, this is what copywriting is. This is why it's so important. And we understood what we needed you to understand to even see the value of showing up today, right? So that is something that, what is the big idea? Like, what do you need them to understand? And then the offer. What specifically are you selling? What exactly are you offering? Is it a 50% off? Is it a trial? Is it, a free, call or something like that? And how does your offer stand out from the competition, right? You remember these, like we've just talked about these, right? The promise. Why should the customer buy your product or service? What is in it for them? Why is your product better than the one down the street? And what are the key differences from the product service that's down the street? You just have to answer these questions. That's it. What am I selling? I mean, we just kind of went through all of this. And what's the point? So again, who is my reader? And we give you a couple of questions to answer about that, so you can really get to the nitty gritty of that answer. What's my objective? What's my whole point? What exactly am I offering? And what is the promise? Right? That's it. That's the only thing that you have to do this week, is answer those questions. And once we do that, we'll go ahead and we'll be moving on. Your worksheets, like I said, have been provided. We will also have the live Q&A on Thursday at noon. So if you get stuck, jump in. In the meantime, you guys can email me with questions. Your assignment is due Sunday at midnight. Just answering these questions, right? And that's it. So how are we feeling? Are we feeling okay? Does this feel all right? Like, we're doing okay? Everyone got this all right? Good. Okay. Doing good. All right. Feeling ready? Okay. Well, then, if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to jump in. We'll be hanging out just for a couple minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's quick, it's easy, right? Like, this is so less intense than a course. Sometimes you just need some quick answers. And we're going to walk you through these quick steps. Once you get these steps, you're going to see how easy it is for us to move to the next thing and the next thing. And in just a couple weeks, you're going to have like a very well written, powerful sales email with words that sell, right? And all of these little concepts and things and formulas we're going to teach you are going to be something so strong that you're going to actually have this skill to move forward with as you start to write, you know, landing pages and maybe parts of your website, you know, or great social media posts, all of those things, right? That's so huge. It's such a powerful, powerful tool. So I'm super excited for you guys to be learning this. I'm super excited that you guys were here. Again, if anyone has any questions, just make sure you type in the chat right there. We all just gonna have a couple minutes. Also, if any of you guys, you know, for our non-members, I know you guys are here visiting now. We are still offering Project Shop for only $10 for your first month. So if you want to jump on that, we do have that offer. It'll be there, should be on your page somewhere that you can see that Project Shop is there for only $10 right now, which, I mean, talk about investing in yourself, like $10, I think you're worth that, you know? I think you're worth so much more. But seriously, like, you know, it's this easy, you know, 30 minutes once a week, maybe an hour if we push it, to jump in, learn something quick, do a quick task, and actually know that every month you're going to accomplish something and gain a skill. Like, that's huge. I have been part of, as a matter of fact, I was part of something very similar to what we're doing. It costs $200 a month. And it is not as structured as this. There are not any assignments or worksheets to do. You just show up, you get some information, and hopefully you go do something with it. And honestly, as I was paying for it, as time went on, I stopped like showing up because I'd get busy and I wasn't doing anything. So I was just like, oh crap. And like, then I felt behind because like, oh, I got to watch like those last 5 lessons. And blah. But then it was like, what's the point? You know, when I'm ready to figure it out, I'll figure it out. But then it just snowballs in this thing. We're here, like, you're going to have like a specific time and you know, like, okay, I'll just get this done. Like, this one little thing pumped out and I do it and it keeps you on track and it makes sure that you really follow through and you can look back and go, yeah, I totally learned copywriting. I mean, to as entry-level degree, right? I'm definitely not claiming that you're going to go out and charge 10 grand for your next landing page. But I mean, hey, if you get it, woo, share us to let us know. And then maybe write a sales page for us. But you know, that's the big difference. The big difference is that it's not just something show up and get your head filled with a ton of information, right? And I think that's really the basis of everything that we do here at Build-A-Biz is about action and responsibility and accountability. You know, that's what's so important. So yeah. If anyone has any thoughts or questions, I know some people are still hanging out here. I see you there. Hello. Or even just have some statements. Anyone have some statements? Actually, as well, I am going to ask, I'll shoot out an email later for my members. I know I'm a big planner. So on the, what day was it? On the 15th, right? The 15th, not next week's lesson, but the week after, on the 15th. I was wondering if it would be okay if I showed up a little earlier. Maybe if we had a morning session. I will shoot you an email about that. I will be, I have, that's nighttime for me, as you guys may know. I'm 9 hours, 9 hours ahead of you. And so noon is 9 p.m. for me. And I have to get up at 2:30 the next morning to fly to Sweden because our family is going to be staying in Sweden for 6 months to a year. So my time will not change. I'll be on the same time zone, but I will be coming to you from a different location. But because of that, I'm kind of hoping maybe I could show up a little earlier. So feel free to type in the chat if that's okay with you, but I will shoot you off an email as well, just to make sure that that's all right for you guys, if you don't mind. If you don't mind doing that. So I would really appreciate it because 2:30 in the morning, like, is that even normal? That's actually, as we're waiting, you know, as we're wrapping up these last few minutes here, if anyone else has any questions, I just saw something. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was Mark Wahlberg shared his, like, what was it? His schedule. And it was something crazy like that. Like, he goes, yay, it works for you. He goes to sleep at like 7 p.m. and he wakes up at 2:30 in the morning, and he works out like 3 times a day. It was crazy. Like, it was very crazy. Like, it was quite an interesting schedule. Look up like Mark Wahlberg's schedule if you want to see something. He literally goes to sleep at like 7 and wakes up at 2:30 in the morning. Pretty intense, right? Pretty intense stuff. I was like, whoa, buddy. So yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, I'll be moving to Sweden, so I'll be sharing more about that with you guys too, because I'm super excited. And all the new stuff we have coming for the next year. Really awesome stuff. So just a couple seconds left on that clock. Anyone else want to jump in and get that project shop? That'd be super awesome. We'll see you in the next couple weeks as well. That would be great. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, my caffeinated self, with Steven hanging out in the background there, making sure everything goes smoothly as usual. Always awesome to have him around because he makes it so we can all function as humans. So thank you for that, Stephen. All right, guys, so that was Project Shop number 1. Make sure you do your tasks. I'll be looking for them on Sunday, and I will see you guys Thursday for your Q&A, and then again on Monday. All right. I think we're